Hi guys, Josh from TT101. Today I want to talk to you guys about concealed carry options for ladies. Now I've got 5 options that I'm going to be discussing with you guys today. And I also want to go over some very common misconceptions revolving around firearms and women. So you guys stay tuned for an interesting video. Alright guys, so now I'm going to get right into it. I don't have these in any particular order. Like I said before, I've got 5 guns that I want to talk to you guys about. And the first one is going to be the Smith & Wesson 442. Now this is the Smith & Wesson 442 Airweight. And this is a 5-shot. I'll just show you the 5 shots there. Hammerless revolver, and the reason why I chose this one is because it is a hammerless design. Now, if you're a lady and you're thinking about off-body carry, especially like in a purse or something along those lines, now I'll give you guys a hypothetical situation. Say you're walking down the street and it's a dark night and you got someone following you and you didn't know if they were exactly following you. You could just stick your hand into your purse and without actually having to draw your gun out of concealment, and you could actually fire this through your purse per se if you ever had to. And like I can show you here, I'm putting a little pressure on the cylinder here and it still wants to fire. So if your bag was loaded up like most women's purses are, this thing would still fire through the bag, and that's pretty sweet if you ask me, because as soon as you draw the gun out of concealment, that's really going to cause some issues. So having this, the ability to be able to shoot through your bag, that's pretty cool if you ask me. Now, like I said before, I did want to talk to you guys about some common misconceptions revolving firearms and women, and this one is going to be one of them. A lot of guys, for whatever reason, that are going to be purchasing a firearm for their wife or their girlfriend, they have this ill-conceived idea that a girl, could not figure out how to fire a semi-automatic weapon like this Glock 42 right here. And I just think that is stupid if you ask me. I mean, anybody, children, any person can be taught how to operate any firearms. So basically what those guys are saying is that they feel like their significant other is not smart enough or they're stupid and they would never be able to operate a gun like this. And I just find that to be pretty demeaning to women. I wouldn't want to be that guy's girlfriend if you ask me, or wife, because obviously he doesn't put that trust into his significant other like most people would with their significant other based off of intelligence. So that being said, a revolver is not a bad option at all. And another thing a revolver is good for is if you're an older woman or an older man. Once you get a little older, your hands get arthritic sometimes, or you become a little weaker. It's harder to rack that slide eventually. And a revolver completely mitigates the whole operation of a semi-automatic as far as locking back a slide or racking a slide to pick up a round to be able to fire. And with a revolver, obviously it's just point and shoot, which a lot of people like, and a lot of men and even younger people like, because all you have to do is draw this out of concealment, point and shoot. There's not a lot of thinking involved, and doing this is critical seconds that you would have to take to be able to actually fire the gun. That being said, a lot of people really like revolvers for that reason alone. So I think that's going to cover it on the 442. If you were wondering what the price was on this guy, we have this for $440 at the Big R in Homer Glen, Illinois. We're also running a sale right now. Everything in the store is 10% off as long as it's not a green tag item. So that would be $44 off, so that's not bad at all. And the next gun that I want to talk to you guys about is the Ruger LCP-2. Now this is a fantastic firearm, and the original LCP is a great firearm as well, but I like this one a little bit better because of the single action trigger on this guy. It's a really nice trigger pull. It's not bad at all. I actually did a whole video, a comparison video between this one and the original one. I'll put a little pop-up guy in the top right corner of the screen right now if you wanted to go check that out. I compared them side by side, and I went over a lot of the differences between the new version and the old one. Now, again, this ties into another misconception when people are buying firearms for women or even for men. People have this ill-conceived idea that a small firearm has less recoil, and that is definitely a no. Especially with these small little mouse guns like this that are chambered in .380. These do have a little bit of kick, and all of that recoil is going to go through the firearm itself and be transferred right into your hand. And these actually sting a little bit to shoot, and a lot of people find them unpleasant. These aren't really range toys. These serve a purpose, and the purpose is for concealed carry. You practice with it enough to be proficient with it, but a lot of people don't like the recoil that's associated with a small gun like this. And I've had many women, men come in, they're like, I'm gonna buy this for my wife, or I'm gonna buy this for myself, for my concealed carry weapon. I'm like, hold your horses for a second. Why don't you go and shoot this gun at a range and give it a try before you pull the trigger, per se, no pun intended, and purchase this gun? Because if you don't shoot it well, and if it scares you, and you don't like the recoil that's associated with it, you're not gonna, it's not gonna be of any use to you. So that being said, this is still a great gun. I'm not knocking this gun by any means, but you just have to understand what you're getting into before you purchase a firearm of this size. So if you're wondering what the price of the LCP2 was, and this one holds 6 rounds just like the old one, we have this for $289.99 at the Big R in Homer Glen. Again, that is also 10% off as well for that one. Now, I have going forward here, I've got a Glock 42. I see many ladies come in, many men come in and purchase this gun as well for concealed carry for a lady. And this one holds 6 rounds as well of .380 automatic, and the slide is a little bit easier to operate on this one given that it is a little bit larger. The recoil is not going to be as stout as this LCP2 because it's slightly larger, and that will help mitigate some of the recoil. If you're a little recoil shy, this might be a little bit better of an option. But that being said, it's also getting to a bigger gun, so not to say that this isn't concealable, this is highly concealable, but you have to take into account that you are getting into a larger size. I also like on the 42, it has the larger Gen 4 style magazine release, which is really nice. I really like that magazine release compared to the old Gen 3 magazine release. It's a little bit easier to operate. I know on my Glock 17, I've handled many 17 Gen 3s, and I feel myself having to stretch forward a lot, and I don't like that a lot at all with the Gen 3s. So I really like that they incorporated that feature into the 42. And again, if you were wondering what the price on the 42 was, we've got this for $400 right now at the Big R, and again, 10% off that one as well. And all of these guns are guns that are purchased all the time. I mean, weekly, I see people buying these for concealed carry for ladies or even for men. And that's kind of the gist of this whole video, is to say that I don't understand why there's this weird stigmatism around ladies and firearms. A lady, a man, a child, we can all shoot the same guns. It just depends on the type of training and the know-how that you learn regarding every platform. I mean, you have to know how to operate a revolver, you know what I mean? It is pretty straightforward, but you got to know what a extractor is, and there are some things that you need to train on and learn before you can operate any firearms. So that being said, I'm going to move on to the next option here. Now this is going to be the Sky CPX2, and this leads me into my third point. A lot of guys that come in to buy firearms for their wife or their girlfriend, they have this ill-conceived idea that, oh, she's a girl, so she has to have a pink gun, okay? A lot of times, I have ladies that come in, and I'll jokingly, I mean, not jokingly, but I will suggest, like, hey, maybe a pink gun, and a lot of times, like 80% of the time, they're like, no, I don't want a pink gun, I want a black gun. And I'm very happy that they say that, because if you were concealing carrying this on your person, and for whatever reason, if your clothing kind of rode up, if you were bending over, and then the gun started to show a little bit, a black gun, or even a gun in like a flat dark earth or a tan color, I know I wear a lot of tans and greens, as you can see here, that might blend in a little bit more than a pink gun, because this is going to stick out like a sore thumb if you ask me. But that being said, this Sky CPX2 comes in many colors. I just grabbed a pink one just as a conversation piece for you guys. Now this gun, I've definitely had a love-hate relationship with this gun. If you've watched any of my other videos, I've kind of talked about how I disliked this gun for a while, but now I'm back on the bandwagon with this gun being a good gun right now, because for a while I had some of these coming back broken, and it was really irritating. But for the past 3-4 months now, I've not had one of these come back, so I'm thinking that Sky has cleaned up their quality control, because I really do like this gun. It feels good in the hand. They are reliable when you get a good one, from my understanding. It does come with 2 magazines. It holds 10 rounds in each one. which is super nice for given the small size of this gun and the price point that they come in at. I mean, this is a $229 gun here at the Big R in Homer. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up on the Sky CPX2. The last gun I want to talk to you about is going to be the Ruger LC9S. You can insert the Smith & Wesson Shield or the Springfield XDS. Those are all great single stack 9mm concealed carry options. And for sake of time, I'm actually going to end the video right now with you guys. If you're wondering what the price was on this Ruger, we've got this for $380 at the Big R in Homer, Glen. There you go. And I hope you guys found this video to be a bit informational. Like I said throughout this video, anybody can shoot any firearm. You got to find the right gun that's best for you. You don't buy a car without test driving it. So go to a local range and try out some of these options that I put in front of you guys today and see which one works best for you, because you never know. You might like how this one looks, but you might shoot this one better. So I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and stay tuned for more interesting videos.